Back. Alright, welcome back, guys. We're back here today with part 2 of the gym modding MDL basic series. This is the last and final part where we'll delve in fixing the MTL, the animation, and showing the usage of the SOAD app, which is one of the integral graph that the Russian has been fixing and repairing and released on Mount Portal. So first, those of you who don't know, we are trying to replicate this model. However, since you've seen from the last video, this model does not look like what it needs to be. The texture of the turret is incorrect. So what we're going to do today is open up this app called SOEdit. This app SOEdit shows us the ability to be able to import model from Man of War. What we're going to do is going to find open and find your MDL file. Just use the same thing as you normally do and it will load the model. If you have your texture located in resource texture common or vehicle, you will be able to load the vehicle without it crashing. If you don't, however, the game instead will load it itself, like I load it right here with the texture being like this. Do not worry, it still means that the MTL file works normally, but however it does not show up with any texture unplanned like this. The reason why I'm going to keep it like this for this purpose only is because it's easier for me to not load this and change it, but I can show it in a different, you can try it yourself. What we're going to do, since we found out that these texture on these don't work, what we're going to do is open up the turret. The turret is the model that we've been modifying, so we're going to open up on turret this, like this, and like this. Check on this, and this is the whole model. So we want to modify all of this, the turret, to the dead one to use the BMP2 texture. However, the BMP2 texture, if you open this up and press on bond editor and press on file, this is responsible for the texture. My bad, you just press on this. Confine texture material, we don't really care because we're not going to modify that. However, it would say integrate MPL PLY ticker. It requires the use of base.mtl. Now, if you remember, base.mtl is the same model texture. Open it up for you. Is the same model texture right here, base.mtl, but we'll open it up to see what it's pointing to. Base.mtl is B. Alright. It's pointing to the BMP3. Therefore, the game is reading both the BMP3 texture for both our BMP2 turret and the BMP3 pool body. We want to keep the BMP3 whole to use this and changing the BMP2 turret. So what we're going to do instead, today we're going to open this up while we're in the PLY trigger right here. We're going to change the base.mtl to base_BMP2. I'm going to overwrite the file. Do you confirm? Yes, I do. And now if we open this up again, it will show that it's using base.mtl2 Alright, that's perfect. Okay, it's perfectly fine. Now modify this. So at this point, we're just going to be modifying one by one. I haven't found a better way to do this, so instead of that, I will modify this and then come back with you guys on a skip. Alright, welcome back. I finished modifying all of this PLY to accept the base_.bmp2 MTL. Cancel. And what we're gonna do today to show you how to do that. So the game is reading base MT2 MTL right here, and it's gonna always read in this folder. So what I'm gonna do is bring the BMP2, find the base.mtl, cut it, come over and base it. Actually, we won't do that because I forgot to rename it. Actually, we are gonna rename it to base _bmp2.mtl, and that will fix the game model. Next, we're gonna do is open up the contour arms folder again and open up the entity file. I'm gonna open up BMP3, open up the entity file and the entity.pack. So we're gonna open up the MDL again. We're gonna check the animation model. As we last seen, the animation is a little bit weird. So what we're gonna do is check the animation on the BMP2 itself. I open up GRM and BMP2. The animation on the BMP2.mdl. So we're back in the MDL folder, and clearly you always notice there's an animation folder section right here. This and the animation.txt inside the game files will be responsible for the game model itself. So what we're gonna do in this experiment is we're gonna be sorry, I just modified this and I didn't realize I unmodified. We're gonna be checking how we're gonna fix the problem with our animation messing up the model itself by elevating it using the original BMP3. That's what not we want. And we'll also be making sure that it doesn't modify any other part. So we're gonna start by looking at the BMP2.mdl. It's gonna show start, stop, hit, open, door back 1 and door back 2. That means that for the model itself, door back 1 and door back 2 can be assumed is the opening the doors of the BMP2. It should be, I'm gonna give you the example right here. I assume that the BMP1 to BMP2, door back 1 and door back 2 is talking about here, and the open tunnel is probably talking about here and here. So that is something that we don't need to care about. Open, door back 1, door back 2, those care. Start and stop only affects the whole usually, and hit sometimes also does that. So we're lucky for this model. This is less complicated where the fire animation is not shown. Usually if there was a fire animation, we will copy this and move over the modifier line, the one with the turret, because that is usually the fire animation modifying it, and we would have a much more complicated way to fix the animation. Lucky for us, however, we don't have to do that today. We can find that there's a fire animation here and there's no fire animation here. So what we would do is to comment it out, and everything looks to be in order. One additional thing, if you want your vehicles to have sound and you want to find how to add the sounds for the vehicle itself, especially if you're modifying from already an existing vehicle, what you could do is go to your set, set, interaction entity, tank.enc, and go to the end, and this show on the sound added. So these are how the way that the game adds sounds. If different vehicles will have different location, but for the tanks it's usually in the tank.enc or in vehicle.enc. We will look for our amazing BMP3, and we found it. So what we're gonna do is to scroll over the BMP3, go over here, and modify as modified. This, however, is just an example for this. If you want to add this, I won't be doing this for my mod because my mods needs to modify a lot of BMP3 sounds, and I'm still not done with the sound system itself. So for now, this is finished. What we're gonna do right now is just to start up the game. We now have the models that we so strive to hunt for. It has the fixed MDL, so on the texture looks great. It has the fixed animation, so when you fire it, it is also great. Sorry, my bad. Basically, it has everything that we wanted to do with it. Apart from that, there's a few animation tricks up our sleeve. The cover should be easier to replace if you just delete the animation.txt inside the BMP3, which I will show you right now. We go back to the BMP3. It has this special file called the animation.txt. So you basically just delete whatever the cover section of it, and then import the BMP2 cover over, which should be able to help this works perfectly. And then for the rest of it, you don't need the fire animation because it's not referenced in the BMP2 file, even though it's in there. so therefore it won't work. And I actually have tried it, and it just makes the glitches on the animation. I feel like it doesn't work as because developers hasn't fixed it. Apart from that, however, it works perfectly, and you are able to use this normally. Okay, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys for coming here today and listening to me to talk about this. If you have any question, drop a comment. Don't like or subscribe because this is not going to be no more content. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Alright, I'm out. Bye.